Destruction and Rectification, Part 4. Exile is a violation of the natural order. Yesterday we began to outline several important yesodot of exile, the first of which was the shift that characterizes Galut from the group endeavors in the land of Israel mandated by the Torah to the personal avodat Hashem of the individual outside of the land. The second was that remaining in the land is contingent upon our observance of Torah and mitzvot. And finally, we noted that Galut and Geula have cycles that we would experience as a nation, and they were planned and even hinted to ahead of time. Today we will continue to explore the fundamentals of Galut and the role that it plays in our national experience. The Maharal in his Sefer Netzach Yisrael writes extensively about the nature and purpose of exile. In the opening chapter, he famously introduces the idea that Galut constitutes a violation of nature. Consequently, since nature is a constant, there must be a force actively holding Am Yisrael in exile. Finally, like all aberrations of nature, Galut cannot be permanent, and it will certainly come to an end. To better understand the Maharal's perspective, we need to establish some background. Hashem created his world with a variety of constant and reliable natural laws. These laws, like physics, biology, chemistry, just to name a few, may be studied and tested because they are constant and reliable. While it's possible to interfere with the natural order, we cannot alter how it works or change the default setting. We can only obstruct it temporarily. For example, I can stop something from falling, but I can't reverse gravity permanently. As soon as I move my hand, the object will proceed to fall. That is the natural order, and everything returns to its natural order when the interference subsides. Maharal asserts that Am Yisrael's connection to the land is part of our nature. Kadosh Baruch Hu tethered us to Israel during creation, and our continued attachment is part of the natural order. As such, Am Yisrael's exile is a result of interference, and we can be confident that the world will return to its default as soon as the obstruction is removed. On the basis of this notion, the Maharal argues that Galut itself attests to Geula. The idea here may be explained as follows. If someone throws something in the air and you catch a glimpse of it before it begins to fall, you would immediately understand that what you are seeing is a temporary product of circumstance. You wouldn't assume that the object would remain in midair permanently simply because that is where you first saw it. Similarly, if you see Am Yisrael outside of Israel, you are witnessing something momentary, and it would be foolish to assume the circumstances will persist indefinitely. Chazal learned this idea from the Torah's language in the Brit Ben Abitarim. Hashem says Yadu Teda, which literally translates to know, you should know, that your descendants will be strangers in a foreign land. The Midrash renders the pasuk as follows: know that I am scattering the nation, and know that I will collect them. Know that I am enslaving the nation, and know that I will redeem them. The repetition of the word know is taken to mean that each explicit guarantee is accompanied by an implicit guarantee. Maharal explains that it's not only a subtle hint in the text, rather the knowledge of one actually implies the other. Once you know there is an exile, you must know that there is a redemption, for the reason that exile is not a natural phenomenon, and it must therefore come to an end.